Hello, today is January 21st, Wednesday, and I actually started this video on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, but it's a little bit of a different type of video than I normally do. It's going to be a tutorial on how to knit some hearts. But as you will see, I actually had a red one and I had to do a little babysitting the last couple of days, and the red one went home with baby Zeke. I put it on his car seat handles so he could look at it. But yeah, life got in the way. I wasn't able to finish it on Monday, so I was able to finish today. But also too, because I had started making the hearts with some bamboo needles and trying to figure out how to actually do a tutorial, and I must have tried several different times and it just wasn't coming out right. So I think I finally got it, and I hope you like it. And that's it. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how I've been decorating because I got the Valentine's Day bug, and that's why I wanted to start making these hearts. And I was going to put them on this tree, my Valentine's Day tree, but I felt like they were getting a little lost in there. And the bigger hearts that I made, they're like a sachet heart that I sewed, and I used my embroidery machine to write little conversation heart sayings on them. And I think it looks really nice with the lights, and I put a few vintage looking Valentine's Day cards in there. And then I decorated just with a few other little things, and I'll show you at the end of the video. But yeah, I have a special place for these, and I'll show you where I put them at the end. But besides that, if you're new here, thank you for clicking in. And if you've been supporting me and watching me, thank you so much. But if you're not subscribed, please do. It's either here or here in the corners. I'd really appreciate it. And besides that, I hope you enjoy the video, and please let me know in the comments. So see you soon. Oh, one last thing. I will come on at the end of the week. I am doing the 12 cast-ons of 2026 with the lovely Angela of the YouTube channel Yarn and Yarns. And I am on my 7th, 8th, and 9th cast on for this week. So hopefully I will get that in by the end of this week. But you never know. You never know what life brings you. But I hope to get that on by Friday night or Saturday sometime. So stay tuned for that. So enjoy the video coming up. Bye. Hello and welcome, fiber friends. This is Dreamcrafted Creations. My name is Debbie. I'm also known as Nana, and this is my little channel on YouTube where I love to share my passion of knitting, crocheting, weaving, any type of fiber arts, and try to inspire you by things I've been inspired by online, Etsy, Pinterest, YouTube, etc. But today is Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day. I'm normally on a Friday, Saturday, and I just thought today would be great because I'm here outside the Boston area in New England, and we just had an overnight snowstorm. I think that varies from 4, 5, 6 inches in the New England area, and it is just beautiful outside. I normally come to you from down in my craft room, but there is no windows down there. It is just so bright and nice with the new coat of snow, and I just thought it would be nice to have it in the background. And I also wanted to put some decorations out for Valentine's Day and talk to you about what I like to do with some knitting for my Valentine's Day and a little crocheting. And I have one little box of Valentine's Day stuff, but after Christmas, and if you watched my Vlogmas, I had a lot of decorating going on during Vlogmas. There was 65 boxes to put away. I think I had like 5 decorated trees. It was crazy Christmas, but that's what we like around here. And after that, of putting it away, you know, I have a blank canvas and I put out a few pink pillows, but the dining room table is blank. The mantle is blank. I did put a few little things out on a table over here. I have a few things over here. You'll see I have Aurora Deer, an Owen Stout, but I think we call her Willow the Weasel from my Vlogmas. But in any event, this is my only tree I keep up after Christmas. It lights up at night. And what I like to do for Valentine's Day is put some hearts on it, make a Valentine's Day tree. So these are the hearts I make. And I have to be honest, I had a pattern. I looked high, I looked low, I couldn't find anything. I saw it last year, but I could not find it. So I searched all through YouTube, and I really couldn't find the pattern I love. But what I did find was this free pattern, and the name of this is My Yarn Loft, and it's knitting a 3D heart. And it was the only thing that was similar to what I had been doing before. And if you look, it's all knit, so cute. There's the sides, there's the tops. It's just very nice. It's a perfect heart. I love it. So this is a free pattern. I'll link it below, but I did do it my way. I did it my way. I'm not a pattern designer and I probably never will be, but I did another heart, which is this one that I found online that I thought might be similar, but I don't love it as much as I like the shape of this one. What do you think? I definitely like the red better, but you tell me in the comments which one you like better. So the pink one is grafted on the top and you start from the bottom. I don't know if I like this big space, but anyways, so I'm sticking it in a bowl over here with some pine cones because February is still winter. So I do have pine cones out and reindeer and all that jazz. But this heart starts from the top. So you start this way and make your way up. And you do a provisional cast, no, not a provisional. You do a Turkish cast on. And the woman in the pattern seems to be doing it on double pointed needles, but I found a way to do it with the magic loop. You still do have to involve some double pointed needles just as holders. And I want to try to show you the process of this. And I also so what I want to do with these is put them on this tree and make my Valentine's Day tree. And let me show you my assortment of colors. So I have the red. And these yarns, this is a Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted. And this is the yarn I also use for the Junie Bauble Blanket, which is in my 12 days of cast on, my first cast on of 2026. So this is great yarn for Afghans, baby blankets, and these hearts. So I have the red. I don't have the labels, but I have this peach color, which I really like. I have some pink. I have some purple. And I believe this one is maybe a Barocco. It's very old. I can't remember, but I'm using my stash. So these are great stash busters. I have these, and I have another pink that I'm working on that will be in the tutorial that I want to show you how I made them. And then let's see how many I can get made today because it's early. I think it's like 10 o'clock or something. And let's get this tree decorated. And then I brought up from my little box, I have my little pink bunny, Beatrice, I believe her name is, or I don't know if I named her Beatrice or Elise Rose Crochet. The pattern is from Elise Rose Crochet, so I'll link that below. But look at her little tail, and it sticks out the dress. And the dress I made through another designer online. I'll find her name. But Elise has the ears down. I wanted them up. So I put them up, and I put a teeny little bow in her hair. And she's a really easy, cute pattern for a beginner. You know, you don't have to use her, even put a dress on her. She's all in one piece like that, so that's easy. And I believe her arms must be sewn on, but I will link it below and you can find it if you want it. But she's in pink, she's a little bunny, so I thought she'd be a cute little decoration. We'll put her someplace. Right now, I'll put her right here so she can be with Owen and Aurora. And then I think in my Vlogmas, you must have seen my candy bear because she's red and goes out for Christmas. But I think I'll put her out for Valentine's Day too. We'll put her somewhere. And she is a Mary Jane's Tea Room pattern. I think the dress might have come from there, or it may be a little Cotton Rabbits. I'm not sure. I think it is a Mary Jane's Tea Room, but I'm not sure. The bear is Candy Bear from Mary Jane's Tea Room. And look at the shoes she does, these baby Jane shoes, so cute. But I'll link as much as I can for her down below. And these are made, they're not all in one, well, I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. I made this so long ago, but this is what she looks like with no clothes on. And I want to make the boy that goes with her. I forget his name. I'll put it up here. But anyways, I love her. I think she's really cute. So we're going to put her somewhere right now. She's going to sit there with Beatrice. And there she is. And I wanted to bring out my little Cotton Rabbits. Look at them. And these sit behind me in my craft room all year round, but I just thought I would bring them up for Valentine's Day because she's in pink, and then we're gonna go right into Easter. And for Easter, it's nice to have little bunnies around, but she looks very Valentine's Day to me, and I actually put some long lashes on her. Look at that. And she's got her little Mary Janes on. I just love little Cotton Rabbits patterns in Mary Jane's Tea Room. These are actually knit, and they have their little tails in the back. I'll just show you hers. She has a little tail. And this one has and I have little teeny buttons for their clothes. But these are knit. Beatrice back there, and Aurora and Owen are amigurumi. They're crocheted. So we have some knit, we have some crocheted toys, and the other bunnies I have, and I just thought they didn't want to be alone, so I'm going to put them up here too. And she has a heart on her dress, so she's kind of Valentine-y. She's a little bigger. This one's smaller than this one. So I used two different patterns. I'm going to have to find the different patterns and link them below. But these are the little Cotton Rabbits. And then the two boys, same thing. He's a little bigger. And I remember making these overalls. I love them. There's actually another carrot. I don't know where that went. I'll have to go find that. But I'm going to decorate, you know, for Valentine's Day. They're going to go in the mix. I like what's going back here, what I started doing back here. We've got the sled and the snow, and they're under the tree. So we'll put these someplace too. But there's two more, and they're very wintry, I thought. They're kind of fall, but we're gonna keep them all together so they don't get lonely. This is Mary Jane's Tea Rooms. They're little bears. And this dress definitely is Mary Jane's Tea Room with a Peter Pan collar and her little Mary Janes. And this is a Mary Jane's Tea Room. He's got some laces and some suspended pants and a scarf, and he's got little buttons for his suspenders. So yeah, we have all the cute little knit and crocheted animals that are gonna come up for the next season. So here they are. And what else do I have in my bag of tricks? One. Okay, so this heart, this is my one salvaged heart that I saved. And I did this on the Thick and Quick bulky yarns. And I liked even putting in these little tags. They say handmade by the heart by me. And they're very similar to the pattern I found, but they're not the exact pattern. So this was a small heart, but I just took it to myself to use thicker yarn and bigger needles. So obviously you don't have to get gauge or anything on any of these. But yeah, so that's my single heart. That will probably go in the basket of pine cones over there, or I don't know, we'll see when I'm done decorating. And then the other knit Valentine's little thing I made was a gnome. Is he not cute? So let me tell you how he's made. I made him on my large Addy machine. There was a girl that I found on YouTube, and I changed up the pattern a little bit with the rows and everything, but I'll link her below, and you can use her pattern if you want to do it. But I added I-cord and wire for the arms, and I bought these little chalkboards that I wrote on little sayings, and the bottom is the little chalkboard looking heart for the feet. Then I have faux fur that you cut out a little bit for the beard. And I made a mistake. These are made on my small Addy machine. So I will link her below. She's on YouTube, and you can use her YouTube to make them if you have the Addy machine. But yeah, I think these are really cute, and I think I'm gonna put him over on the table over there when I show it to you later in the film. And yeah, and the other fiber art related decorations I made were these, and I think they're beautiful, pom-pom wreaths. I have red, and they have a beautiful burlap bow. I hang them over on my double doors. And I also have pink. So I think these are a beautiful addition to my Valentine's decorations. So I will show you those later. And as far as that, in handmade, I have a few other things that aren't handmade that I will put in, but those are all my handmade decorations that I'm going to use to add a little color for the Valentine's season to the house. And I will be back after I show you the tutorial on making the hearts. And here they are again. So I will see you back soon. I hope you get some knitting done today as well. Bye. Okay, to start this heart with a Turkish cast on in the magic loop method, you're going to need a circular needle. This is a 32-inch number 3, and it's a Chow, and I really wouldn't recommend anything else because these are nice and sharp, and this project can get very tight using a thicker yarn than the yarn, a thick yarn with a smaller needle. I used a worsted, it's called Worsted Sparkle Yarn by Hirschner's, and yeah, so it gets very tight because a worsted yarn doesn't normally use a 3. So the chow goos are really good, nice and pointy, and helps with the increase stitches. And then I have a marker, and I would get something simple like this because anything bigger might get in your way, working a little fiddly here. A pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and we're going to need a little bit of polyfill. So that's what we're going to need. And I'm going to be doing this Turkish cast on with the magic loop method. And the magic loop method is pretty much casting on the same amount of stitches on each needle and then knitting them back and forth from each needle. And you'll see that the bottom needle is always your working, and that we're putting the cord back into the top row after we've knit it. So hopefully that makes sense to you. And if you don't know the magic loop method, maybe I can find a video that I'll link below, because this is really just a tutorial, more so just to actually make the heart with the Turkish cast on and the magic loop method. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to do a slip knot. I like to go around my finger twice and pull it over twice. And then we're going to take the needle, put it in, and secure it. And we're always going to turn clockwise, and I'd like to have the tail to the left. And we will take the other needle, put it right on top, and this is the Turkish cast on. We'll go over 2 needles from back to front 3 times. That's 3 stitches. Secure it in back, like so. And you're going to take out the bottom needle, which is your working needle, and we're going to knit 3. Now you're going to leave that knot on the cable. We're going to turn clockwise, fix everything up, put the cord back in, take your working yarn, and we're going to knit the knot and the first stitch as one, and then we'll do the next 2 stitches. So we'll have 3 stitches on the needle, and then we're going to do a round of knit. So we're going to knit 3, we're going to turn clockwise, put your cable back in, we're going to pull the bottom working needle out and knit, complete the round. So that's row 2. Row 3, we're going to start an increase. So we're going to put the needle back in, take your working yarn, your working needle, fix all your ends, and we're going to knit 1, make 1 right. So here we are knitting 1, and then we go to the back bar, and it gets tight here. This is why the chow goos are good. Into the front, and we're going to knit to right before the last stitch, and we're going to make 1 left. We go pick up the front bar, And I like to put the needle in and kind of just roll it to the back and knit from the back. And we made one left and we knit one. So we'll have 5 stitches on the needle. We're going to turn clockwise and we're going to finish the round. At the beginning of the row, we do a make one right and then a make one left at the end. So we're going to knit one. We're going to make one right. And it can be really tedious and it can fall, so you just have to be patient and just take your time. Get it in there. There's your make one right. Oh, so that time it didn't work. Let's do it again. Like I said, it can be very tedious, but once you get through this, it's not too bad. And then knit to right before the last stitch. Oh, I guess this make one right was giving me a hard time. Knit to the left right before the last stitch, and we're going to make one left, and that goes into the front. Roll the needle around to the back, knit the back, and you made one left, and you knit the last stitch. So now we should have 5 stitches on both needles. Turn clockwise, and we're just going to knit one round, which will be row 4. I like to cut the tail sometimes because it seems to get in the way. So feed your cables back in. And we're going to take the bottom working needle and we're going to just knit one round. And once we're done with this, we're going to repeat row 3 and 4 until we have a total of 7 stitches. So we're completing this knit round. And next will be on an increase round. And this is going to give us a total of 7 stitches on each needle. So we're going to do the knit 1, increase, make one right, pick up from the back, and knit into the front as best you can. Knit to right before the last stitch. And make one left, pick up from the front, roll your needle to the back, knit from the back, and knit one. Turn your needle clockwise, and we're going to repeat it. Knit one. Oh, I'm having a hard time here for some reason. Make one right. Pick it up from the back. Get into that tiny little space in front. Knit to right before the last stitch. make one left, put the needle in, roll to the back, knit to the back, and knit one more. And now you've completed your first bump. You'll have 7 stitches on each side. And now we're going to have to transfer these onto another needle. So I use 2 double-pointed needles. And I'm sorry, I should have said that at the beginning of the video. You will need something to transfer these onto. But so I had already done the first bump, and now on the second one, when you complete it, you're not going to cut the yarn. You're going to bring the working yarn to the front, that will be on the front needle with the working yarn to your left. And so what you're going to do is, and I'm just trying to set it up here. Okay, and I'm cutting down the tail so it won't get in the way. But you're going to take, and it doesn't matter which side on the second bump you start, but I like to start on the side that doesn't have the tail. And you're going to take the front and knit those stitches. But before you do, you are going to add a stitch marker, because this is going to be the beginning of your row. And I know, again, it can get very fiddly, but it does work out. So we're going to knit the first 7 stitches of the row off of the double pointed needles that were holding one of the bumps. And things slide off, and you just have to be careful, put them back on. And I probably should have pulled those needles, that back needle, further out, but I did manage to get all the stitches back on. So we've got the full, there I am trying to pick up the stitches from the back. I should have pulled that needle out, like I said. They wouldn't have fallen off. But we're going to finish knitting from the front needle. Okay, so now we have one side of the heart bumps together. We should have 7 stitches on each side. We're going to turn clockwise, and you are going to take the bottom needle out, your working needle, and you're going to knit those 7. And you're going to connect the other 7 to it. So you'll have 14 on each side. I promise the next few steps get a little easier. Okay, so now we're going to connect them. And don't worry about the hole at the top. That's going to be sewn together at the end. And turn clockwise. And now you've connected your bumps, but remember we have to do 7 more stitches to complete the row. And like I said, this is my method. I tweaked it a little bit, but I will link the free pattern below where I got this, and you can follow her way if you find my way to be a little too tedious. And now we're at the end of the row. We slip our marker, and now we're going to knit 2 more rows. Turn clockwise. Push your cord through. Pull your needle out. So that's a total of 3 rows. After you connect the bumps, that's 7, 8, and 9 plain knit rows. So this will be completing 8. And let me tell you, I had started on some bamboo needles and they weren't sharp and the cords were all curled up, and I tried to do this video multiple times and it wasn't working. So I hope this is something you can understand. And like I said, I will link the free pattern below and you can have it in writing from there, but use my method if you want. And now I'm on the last knit row, which connected all the bumps together. And then we'll be going on to the decrease. So we're going to knit to the last 2 stitches. This is our first decrease row. And we're going to knit 2 together. And we're going to turn clockwise. We're going to do our magic loop method, push the cord in, and we're going to get our working yarn and working needle. In the beginning of the round, we do a slip, slip, knit. And then we're going to work to the last 2 stitches. And we're going to knit those 2 together. We're going to come around clockwise, magic loop method, put our cord back in, and we're going to pick up our bottom needle, our working yarn, and we're going to slip, slip, knit because it's at the beginning of the row. So we're going to continue in a knit row, and we're going to continue a knit row, a decrease row, until we get to 4 stitches on each needle, which will leave a small opening for us to stuff the heart. And then we'll continue in the same pattern, knit row, decrease row, until there is literally 2 stitches, and then we'll just pull one over the other and a slip stitch and be done, and tie everything off. So continue to watch. So we are up to the point of where we need to start stuffing. We have 4 stitches on each needle. We did decreasing row, knit row till we got to this point. And you just take a little bit of polyfill, put it in, and I like to just kind of stuff each heart bump. And you don't want it too full because you kind of, you'll stretch the stitches out and, you know, just a little puffy. And you will have a hole there at the top in between the bumps, and we're going to sew that later. But at this point, you get it all stuffed, and then you're going to continue until you have 1 stitch on the heart. It gets a little fiddly here. So I took the, I think I was on a knit row. So yeah, we're on a knit row. We're going to finish that up. And now we are going to continue the knit row because we had just decreased to get down to 4 stitches. So we're continuing the knit row. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll decrease with the beginning of the row, slip, slip, knit, and the end of the row, knit 2 together. And as you can see, I'm still on my knit row because we got to get to the marker. So now after I slip this, I think we'll purl 2 together, knit 2 together. And then we'll turn clockwise as normal, put the cord through. And like I said, this is probably another real fiddly little part, but we're almost there. And now we'll do our slip, slip, knit. And I think at this point, I just knit these 2 together to get me 2 stitches on the needle. And then turn, and I believe there's 2 stitches on this needle. Oh, no, we have 3. So I'm going to have to do my slip, slip, knit. After I get myself together here. Yeah, I just realized it should be a slip, slip, knit, not a purl 2 together, but I guess I just purled them together instead. No big deal. And now, here here I remember to slip, slip, knit. It's at the end, and it really doesn't matter on these last 2 rows because when we weave the tail in, you'll see it kind of pulls into itself and you don't even see anything. It is important when you're doing the other decreases to keep the beginning and ends of row uniform because it does make a nice little chain going up each side. So we are down to the last 2 stitches, and I believe we so when you're down to these last 2 stitches and you're still doing the magic loop method, and I know it looks a little chaotic here, but you're still just pushing the needle through and pulling the working needle out. And you get to these last two, you just do a bind off and you pull it up and cut a long tail, because what we're going to do here is about that long. What we're going to do here is pull it through up into this top of the heart, and you'll see how I close it up on top. There's not really any specific method. I try to use like a mattress stitch, that's what they call it, but just find as close as you can to the tail. And pull it through up into, if you can see here, this in between the ladders of the stitches. And then I just started to kind of do a little bit of, like I said, a mattress stitch, just, close that hole up at the top. And when you're done with that, and this yarn was a little splitty because it has silver going through it, but yeah, pick up the I don't know what you call them, the ladders of the stitches, and just kind of go back and forth on each side. I mean, it literally takes probably 6 stitches. And then once I get that gap closed, as you'll see, and that's pretty much closed, and I think that was 3 stitches. Maybe I'm gonna do another one. But once it's closed, I just put it, kind of shape it a little bit, and I just put it through into one of the holes at the bottom, pull it, and cut it off. And there you have a knitted heart. I think they're cute for Valentine's Day, or a little hug for somebody.